Angela Hill is exactly like one of those fighters we've been talking about when it comes to just not going anywhere. I think this girl's been such a pleasure to work with for the UFC that they could never see her going anywhere. And she's even part of the broadcasting team. It's just, she's definitely making a name for herself right now as just a face for MMA in general. And I think it's really, really nice to see when you look at some of the body of work that she's put together the last year. It's just really incredible. Her effort, her improvements, things like that. I think the Ashley Yoder fight really set her back in motion for the path that she wants to be on. But, let's dig into both these fighters a little bit. Amanda Ribas, the things that I've noticed about her is she throws powerful hooks. She comes in with big power, likes to push the pace, get in close. And the thing is that I wonder if that works in Angela Hill's favor, because even if you look at the Mackenzie Dern fight, Angela Hill is, at least at the time of Mackenzie Dern, Angela Hill's a much better striker. And I think that what Angela Hill is good at is what's going to make her, such an exciting fighter for this fight, because what Ribas is going to be trying to do is very much come in hard, throw power punches, chase her down. But what's Angela Hill really good about? She's good at staying on her feet, staying on those tippy toes, moving around, throwing very quick and crisp jabs. That's what I like about, watching Hill's development over the last year in so many fights, because she's constantly moving, the head's moving, the hands are flying. And I think that in her case, the only big rip that you can have on her is that she kind of fades late in fights. So she's a phenomenal first couple rounds fighter, but then you see her kind of take a dip. And the worst part about it is when you look at her fight with Michelle Waterson, the thing about MMA is your fighter also starts to understand range. They start to understand timing. They start to, impose their own on-the-fly game plan. And I think in that fight, you actually saw Michelle Waterson have really, and we're going to talk about it, but she has an incredible athletic heart when it comes to this shit, because she just stays in fights as long as she humanly can. And I think at that one, you saw her just pull it out of the wazoo and come away with a very, very, very close win. I thought that Angela Hill did enough for the most part. But again, I think that in being an Angela Hill fan and watching her fight so much, you actually come to learn that this is part and parcel of the game. Like, this is who she is. I think that she's actually the type that, if that gets spread out a little bit, I think we could be watching her do that for 5 rounds very soon. But it's like how much output and how much of that movement is hindering you in rounds 2 and 3. Because in this fight, I would say that if Ribas isn't fading it as well and that power carries over, it could be a very different fight for, say, the last couple minutes of the second round and the third round. But in this case, I kind of want to give some of the cardio advantages to Angela Hill a little reluctantly, because I think that from that power aspect of things and her ability to maybe avoid those strikes, I think if she plays the defensive striking game, which she's actually kind of good at, it might help her actually secure that victory, even if it's a decision late. Because, the one thing, if you look at the Marina Rodriguez fight with our, friend Amanda Ribas, that was not crisp. I believe that was a fairly sloppy experience for her. I think that she met a much more technical striker who, as Izzy always points out, I mean, it's not about, how hard you land, but it's where you land, and when you land. That's the perfect example of where the technical striker just outdueled the powerful striker. And I think that Ribas learned that the hard way. In this fight, though, I would be interested to see if this fight goes to the ground and maybe if she's able to work in some of that jiu-jitsu that she might be able to utilize against a fighter like Angela Hill, who should be a little less powerful. She's going to be a bit smaller. I think that's where there's some things, in the realm of not just standing and banging, that maybe she's able to pull this one off, because I do think that Ribas is going to be a favorite. I think that her body of work speaks for itself. The Mackenzie Dern win, for where we're seeing Mackenzie at right now. Then you're looking at, even the loss against Marina Rodriguez, who's now on the main card against Michelle Waterson, or the main, even headlining the event with Michelle Waterson. So I think that this is one where if you think Ribas is powerful striker, going to be able to hold on for the rest of the fight, maybe even finish her, that's your play. But, if Angela Hill can do what she's really good at, which is stay on her toes, stick and move, move that head constantly, I think that she has a really good opportunity of winning this fight. And I think this is the type of fight where if she can win, this might be finally getting her to that next step, because it's those close fights that she can't seem to get, over that hurdle, the Gadellas and things like that. So, I am kind of rooting for Angela Hill in this one, only because if a fighter deserves a really great opportunity, it's her, just for what if you're enjoying fights during the pandemic, man, Angela Hill has a lot to do with it. So, after the Watterson split and the Gadella split, it'd be nice to see her kind of get one under her belt. And in this case, I think that Amanda Ribas, despite really good, experience under her belt, I think that the 2 losses via strikes and the simple fact that she's going to be taking on someone who's actually a pretty crisp boxer and can move around very well, it should make things very interesting for her. And if she's not able to catch her, how long is it going to take before someone gets frustrated and makes mistakes, or, anything of that kind? Because I think if Angela Hill is able to just stick and move for 3 rounds, she's smiling to the bank. Now, let's take a quick look at these lines here. Damn. So Angela Hill opened up a plus 188 dog, with Ribas coming in at minus 225. And, that actually improved significantly for Angela Hill. She's now sitting at plus 160, plus 150 range. Then you have Ribas coming in at minus 185, minus 190. So for me, I think that there's some value on Angela Hill if you're a betting person. For me, like, if I ever do have a play, it's usually something I'm willing to share. But on this card especially, there's a couple dogs that look attractive. But at the end of the day, if Ribas is able to kind of outduel her, it's really tough to see Angela Hill winning a long fight against a really powerful striker like this, unless she's able to stay disciplined, avoid the power shots, and really just land more and avoid some of the ground. I think that that's where she enjoys fighting, on the feet, sticking and moving, and making her opponent miss. And so if she's able to do that, look for her to be very much in the UFC's considerations to get a much bigger fight, come the later parts of 2021, because she's earned it.